saying? He got some plans to do this and that. Then y'all want to copy me and do it.
Alright, all stickers are off. The only one I decided to leave on was this front one. Don't just bash blast. Might end up taking that one off too, but just to give it a little bit different look. But yeah, I think it looks a lot better. I'll probably customize the windows or something later on, but yeah, so far, love the way it looks. Straight black. The part I'm working on right here is I'm gonna go ahead and drill a hole through here, which is blurry if it would focus. That way the wires can't come out while bashing. Seen it on a lot of YouTube channels, they've done it, so they recommended it. So I'm gonna go ahead and do it. So, drill the hole through. That mod is done. Let's see the little error I did while cutting off my zip tie right here. Slipped my motor, so now I'm gonna have to put some Shrinktube on there and fix that real quick. Alright, went ahead and fixed the little part that I cut and messed up on the wire right there. Went ahead and found the fan from my old Infraction from the ESC that blew up from one of my previous videos a long time ago. I cleaned it up and everything from the caps that busted and everything. Cleaned it up, it worked perfectly fine. So go ahead and face it straight down right there. The holes, of course, line straight up with the one. I don't know why Arrma didn't end up giving a fan with this that came with the heatsink. It would have made sense to do that, especially when you're paying so much for the EXB, $749, which that's not what I paid for it, but still, for retail price of $749, it should have at least came with the little fan that is cheap as crap. But oh well, I found it laying around. I'm gonna make it work with it and continue on this mod. Alright, got the fan mounted on there. Like I said, it fits up nice, perfect. A little bit of wipey debris on here, but yeah, I'll try to boot it up like it's a computer. And I know this is ghetto, but I want to see about if it even, yeah, it's blowing from the, yeah, so that's crazy. Yeah, from the sides of the heatsink. Just what I was wanting to see. And even with my hand with the fan, like, you can see it's blowing it all the way out here. Trying to bring it close. Yeah, it's just blowing it straight out. So that's a good sign for a little single fan that used to come with the Arrmas, the original first Infractions when Arrma was first coming out years ago. This little fan is real good, and it was what came on the ESC from the old one, but yeah, it's blowing even harder than this one. That's crazy, which is a good thing, good sign. So I don't ever worry about temperatures or nothing like that, just because I don't be bashing for hours and hours on end or for long at all, really. I just get a few runs, play with it a little bit, put it up, go home. But that's how it used to be. Who knows, maybe I'll change that up this year. Alright, I know I said that I finished everything so far, but I took this off because I'm gonna go ahead and put on my dust cover for the whole RC car so it doesn't get any dust on any components. I just now put double-sided sticky tape right here, so then I don't have to worry about this cord getting all bunched up or messed up inside of there. I got the fan mounted, got this little mod done right here. Went ahead and put the Shrinktube on there as well. Don't have to worry about that anymore. Anyway, enough talking, and now I'm gonna get onto the LEDs so I can hurry up and get this thing done and you guys can see the finished product. Oh, also, almost forgot. Gotta put these on too, these mud guards. And I know I probably showed it already, but I went ahead and installed the rear skid plate. I don't know why they didn't give that as well. It's for the EXB. They have the front on there, which is fine. Come on, Arrma. I know y'all did your best, and yeah, I had the Creighton 8S and it was fine. Just give us a little skid plate. It ain't much, it was cheap. And a fan. That's all we need, a fan to keep this cool, even though there's really no problems with it. And then I'm gonna go ahead and change out these bolts like Kevin Talbot had said. I don't know if I pronounced his name right, but I've been following him for a long time into the RC game. A lot of tips that he's given me, also a lot of other YouTubers, but I'm gonna go ahead and change that out. That way I don't have to worry about this stripping if I have to change motors or I do some other upgrade later on. But yeah, back to this modding. Just like that, finally got everything completed. Got the LEDs mounted on the front bumper, have everything wired and zip tied, shrink tubed to the front bumper right here. I was gonna run it through the shock tower, but just in case something happens, the LEDs wind up going out or something gets damaged while bashing, I didn't want to have to splice any of the wires and splice the switch and everything like that and then redo it all. So I just ran it over the shock towers and ran it to a toggle switch instead of using JST plugs to plug it to the body, or even doing my little invention that I had with the washers, the wireless contact or whatever with the battery. Just because I ran the LEDs on the actual bumper, I'm not going to put it in on the truck itself. But I ran it to a 12-volt lamp, 20-amp toggle switch that I used in my real car. Works real good, matches the car and everything. Ran it inside of here with the receiver box with my little module invention to amplify the power, so then it can power each one of these 12-volt LED lights. And they use these on drones. They're really bright. I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys a little clip of that, of what it looks like. You know how I usually do in my videos. That way you can see how much light it actually produces. Now this lamp is bright. These things are gonna be just as bright, if not brighter. And that's what 4 of these. So I'll leave a link in the description below where you guys can go ahead and pick that up. But yeah, I try to do it as neat as possible. You know, I use my hot glue with everything. But yeah, this is just what it looked like. Zip tied it to everything as much as possible, just to keep everything secure and looking real neat. And also zip tied it as well. Use double-sided sticky tape on the actual switch and right here, and a little extra support, another zip tie. But yeah, everything came out pretty clean, pretty easy. I also installed the Velcro on here for the dust cover. So all I have to do is put this dust cover on here. Everything will be good to go. Also the front mud guards, have to put those back on the front. If you guys happen to get the rear mud guards, if you get the RPM ones, you have to get the RPM rear arms as well. I didn't want to go ahead and do that. I bought them and tried to put them on here. They were too close. The guy at the hobby shop did not tell me that you have to get the RPM bars, so I thought they would fit up right with the EXB. It didn't, so I didn't. I usually get RPM arms, just because of the color choices, and I just had good experience with them. But I watched a couple YouTube videos and guys are just basically saying that with the RPM arms, they're really good if you don't want to, you know, break any arms, because most people that bash, they usually break arms, but you end up damaging more expensive parts on the car when you use the RPM arms. I haven't had that experience, but I just have the EXB and I'm like, okay, well, I don't really break any arms, but I'd much rather replace these arms that are a lot cheaper as opposed to replacing anything else that's more expensive that it possibly could damage. So we'll just have to see with me bashing it and see how that goes. Alright, went ahead and put a battery inside of here. Already booted it up, got the fan and everything running. I just wanted to show you guys a sample of how bright the lights actually are. Everything works good. Now the light is on in here. I'm gonna cut the light off and then cut the switch on here and let you guys see. So now completely dark, and this is just the RC car on, no other lights. So yeah, I'll go ahead and leave a link in the description below where you guys can purchase these. I usually leave it in all my videos, but just in case you guys miss it, I'll go ahead and pin it in the comments as well. Yeah, these things are really bright. Never let me down. Now everything is finally complete. I had to make an adjustment because the dust cover right here, it was rubbing against the actual servo horn. So I went ahead and put a threaded screw through here. I made a hole up here, but it was a little too high. So I had to bring it down just so it was so tight on this elastic right here. So I just made an adjustment right there. That way, whenever it turns, it doesn't rub on that horn. Before I did that, it was rubbing against there and it was stopping the servo from turning. Servo's pretty good, but of course I'm gonna switch it to the Savox, so, or however you pronounce it. And that's what it looks like. Totally complete, all blacked out. So yeah, stay tuned for the next video, the bash, LED lights on and everything, and me to scratch this thing up.
It's the anthem. If I give you my word, that's what I stand on. Loyalty and trust is what I stand on. Family and love is what I stand on.